Hey guys, GamingSmoke here, back again for another Marvel Battle Lines video. What we're actually going to be doing today is focusing on team building. So I haven't done a team building video before, but I thought, hey, now is as good a time as any. So I'm still learning the game. I've been playing the game for a little while now, so a couple months or so, but still there's a lot to learn, especially in terms of team building. So there are quite a number of teams I like to focus on, but I thought I would go through those for you here. So first things first, what you want to do is make sure you pick the correct leader. I say correct, definitely don't choose your starting leader, because he or she serves no benefit whatsoever to you. If you noticed, my attacks or health stat, sorry, is quite low, and he doesn't have any special abilities, just blank there. But every other leader here, they are able to give a special ability. So I'm going to go through my normal deck. So I'm going to choose this one here, this Iron Man. He does have the same stats as the normal Iron Man, but let me just go over it actually. So on every turn, if we have 4 cosmic fragments or more, he will increase the number of cosmic fragments on the field by 1. So that only works on one particular square at a time, not every single cosmic fragment on the field, unfortunately. So what you want to do with this deck is basically try and get to 4 cosmic fragments as quick as possible. So let's start off with the 0 cost cards I like to bring. So I would like to bring, let's see, so definitely bring Scorpion. You can swap out Scorpion for Stick. I like to bring Black Cat because she works very well. And the other card I like to bring, you probably guessed it, is Karen Page. So what Black Cat does, after moving, she'll gain a nearby cosmic fragment on the field. So let's say you got 2 cosmic fragments available, one on the bottom left, one on the bottom right. You've played Karen Page, you then on the bottom right, you then play Black Cat on the bottom left. The enemy tries to block you off by putting a card in the middle to stop you from forming a battle line, but there happens to be one cosmic fragment very close to you. Just move Black Cat, she'll pick up the cosmic fragment that you moved her to. So if you're lucky, the square you move her to will be occupied by a cosmic fragment, and the adjacent square will also have a cosmic fragment. So if you move Black Cat to the square with the cosmic fragment, she'll pick up any other cosmic fragments in 1 square radius around her. So you could pretty much get to 4 cosmic fragments very quickly. Also, another good card to use is Scorpion. You can actually get him from Special Ops Hard Chapter 3 and 6. Sorry, Chapter 3 Stage 6. What he does is, if he deals any damage to an enemy, he will automatically take them out. So it doesn't matter if the enemy has 3000 HP and he has like a 10,000 attack stat, as long as Scorpion does damage to that enemy, he's going to remove them from battle. So he is quite a formidable card to play. If enemies see you play that card, they're definitely going to want to try and take him out as quickly as possible, because the last thing they want is to have their Thanos taken out by Scorpion. Okay, so now we focused on 0 cost cards. Let's focus on everyone else. So first things first, I would play or put down, sorry, in the team a Thanos. Thanos works very well, a nice 4 cost card there. He is quite a high cost, but once you put him down, it's pretty much that's it. He's kind of controlling the whole board for you, especially in PvE. PvP may be a bit different because people obviously will want to try and get rid of him straight away. The only downside to Thanos is once he's been knocked out, you won't be able to use him again, which is a shame. If you have the OG Thanos, the 3 cost card, you can use him instead, or you could potentially use, where is he? Thor. Thor is also another good cost card to use in this particular build I'm going for. So again, because I have Thanos, I would use Thanos. The next card I will play would be maybe Hulk. Then I would put down Malekith, and who else would I play? So I want to use 2 cost cards. I want to use a card that actually has some kind of utility. So for example, Thor, Jane Foster, she works really well because this will be a build where I'll be focusing on damage over turn. So actually, yeah, what I'll do, I like to organize my cards in a particular way. If you didn't notice, I put down Thor, put down Hulk. So Thor does damage every turn, 352 to 374, not Thor. Again, Hulk, he will attack one enemy in a square around him, but for 374 damage. Then I will put down Malekith. Then I will put down Jane Foster. So Malekith does 327 to 375 to an enemy, and she does 28 to 110 damage every time you swap a card. So Jane Foster, Malekith, Hulk and Thor, you can actually pick them up in the shop, whether it be for coins, tokens, whatever you want to call them, or gold. Thanos you actually can only get from a card pack, and he is an epic card, so he's a bit more difficult to get. So those would be the cards I would use, or character cards. And for action cards, I would focus on using, let's see, I would have used this back in the day, but unfortunately they increased the cost to 1 cosmic fragment, so I don't really use that anymore. Another option could be box of scraps. So what this does, it actually will make 1 or 2 cosmic fragments appear on a slot that doesn't actually have a cosmic fragment. So that can work well if you say play Black Cat and you play this card and she moves to the square with the cosmic fragments and picks up another cosmic fragment from a square that is very close. So that can be very helpful. So what I would do, let's arrange this by cost. We want to put down something like target locked, which is very good. Put down Yakka Arrow. We would then put down potentially Chain Lightning, oops, as that can help you out in a pinch if an enemy forms a battle line. And then I would put down Techno Organic Virus. So again, what this does, it will deal 484 to 726 damage in a line to the first enemy, and then the damage, sorry, is 121 less each enemy that it hits. So again, that can be very helpful if your enemy is trying to form a battle line. The other card is target locked. You can replace target locked with, where is it, Guide to the Afterlife. This actually does 110 damage, and you can actually get this on special ops. So hard mode chapter 4 stage 9. So this does 1100 damage, not 101 damage. But this actually does 1150 damage. So it is slightly more, or it does slightly more. You can actually get this from hard mode chapter 2 stage 6. So both of these are farmable cards. Yakka Arrow, unfortunately, you can't get from the special ops. You need to get it from the shop. But this is pretty good. At level 2, it does 440 damage twice, so 880 damage. That's a very good card to have, and it's only 1 cost. And Techno Organic Virus is a very good card again. Currently mine is at level 3, so it does 399 damage, and you can actually get it from hard mode and special ops chapter 1 stage 3. So what this actually does, let's say your enemy plays a Thor or a Thanos or a Malekith or someone like that that has a special ability that works every turn, or She-Hulk who grows in terms of HP and attack, or Drax, someone like that. What you can actually do with this is when you put this card down or on that enemy, it will stop that ability from working. So that can be very helpful for you, and it will also do 399 damage to them. What you could also do in place of Techno Organic Virus is use an actual character card. So let's say we didn't want to do that because that is only a one-time only thing. You can actually play a character, I think it's 1 cost, no, maybe 2 costs, and it's a rare card. You probably already know who I'm going to say. Where is she? Right here. So yeah, 1 cost card, Quake. So she basically does the same thing as Techno Organic Virus. When you place her in a diagonal line or diagonally placed next to an enemy, she's actually going to remove their special ability, and it will be the enemy with the highest attack. So that is a very good skill to have. So you could actually put her there instead of Techno Organic Virus, because you can use her over and over again. So what you want to do with this team is, once you get to 4 cosmic fragments, Iron Man will increase a square with 1 cosmic fragment to 2. You then would want to play a 2 cosmic fragment card, and then you'll be back at 4 cosmic fragments. When it's your turn again, Iron Man will increase the cosmic fragment slot from 1 to 2, or maybe 2 to 3, and then you could potentially play another 2 cost card or even a 3 cost card. And that is pretty much how you would play this team over and over again. And it actually does pretty well. Okay, so let's do another deck for you. Okay, so this is a normal deck I generally play if I don't want to use action cards for special ops, but that is not what I wanted to show you. I didn't mean to put it back to that. So let's go back in. Okay, You could also choose the auto complete function or option. It doesn't necessarily choose the best cards for you. As you can see, these are some kind of odd cards, a random mixed batch of cards, so I wouldn't really go for that option there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to choose another leader. Okay, so let's change the leader. Okay, let's choose Thanos. So what Thanos does, he increases your own HP or the leader's HP by, I believe, 300, and on every turn he will use 6 cosmic fragments to instantly knock out every enemy on the field. So this kind of team is going to focus on increasing the number of cosmic fragments on the field as quickly as possible. So 2 main cards you want to have, actually let's see, put this back to rarity. So it may be a bit difficult to use someone like Thanos, but you could potentially use him. If you don't want to use Thanos, you could focus again on maybe using, where is he? Cannot see him, Thor instead. If you haven't got Thor but you would like to use Thor and you have this action card, you can use this instead. So what this would do, if you have a like low HP card, like a 0 cost card on the field and it's below 220, if you use this card on that card, it will remove that card from the field, return them to your deck, and actually make Thor appear on the field with 770 attack and HP. This Thor will work in the same way as this Thor. So on every turn he will do like 352 to 374 damage, and I'm guessing the higher the level of this card is, the more damage and HP he will have. So that is another option. So let's say we put down Thor. Okay, so what we also want to do is again use another damage over turn card, which is Malekith. You could potentially put down, I'm trying to think what other card. So I would put down maybe a grower. So I'd put down Drax and maybe She-Hulk. You can have one or the other, to be honest. Make sure you have someone like the Ancient One, who on every turn increases the quantity of cosmic fragments on the battlefield. So again, he turns 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc. So that's every card on the field. So kind of similar to the Iron Man leader skill, but he only does 1 card at a time. He will do one cosmic fragment at a time. What he will do is every single cosmic fragment at the same time. So that's a very good skill. Something you definitely need for the Thanos build. So another card you can bring is also, where is she? You may know who I'm going to put on the team. Where is she? If I can find her. Oops. Cannot see her. I must be blind. Where is she? Okay, so I'm looking for Misty Knight. Oh, here she is. So she's actually a common card, but she's cost 2. So on every turn, if there is an enemy on the field, she will basically give you 1 cosmic fragment. So again, you can put her on the team. So the reason why I would bring these cards is Thor and Malekith will do damage over turn, and Drax and She-Hulk are going to increase their HP and attack stat every turn. So that is very good. An Ancient One and Misty Knight are going to be generating cosmic fragments for you. Action cards. What action cards would I play? Probably the standard few. So as I said, if you didn't have Hulk, you could play this. Sorry, not Hulk, Thor. You could play this card. But the only problem is it does cost 3 cosmic fragments, so it may not be the necessary best choice for you. You could play Chain Lightning, so a very good card to play. Target locked. Oops, and where is it? Yaka Arrow. If you want to get rid of 1 card, I would say maybe get rid of either She-Hulk or Drax. You don't necessarily need 2 growers, 1 is enough. Maybe get rid of She-Hulk. Actually, I would personally maybe get rid of Drax because She-Hulk has the higher HP stat. So if you do that, it does give you 1 extra space to put a card there. So I would put another action card, and I would put down maybe what would you use? Personally, I would maybe use a action card that can get rid of many enemies at once, or a strong single target action card. So I would maybe use Techno-Organic Virus, because what it does, again, will take away the special ability of an enemy, and it's a 0-cost card. And for 0-cost cards, character wise, what I will do will be to play the standard few. I like Black Cat because again, she's there picking up many cosmic fragments for you. Karen Page, because when she's taken out, she's going to give you 1 cosmic fragment. And also I would play potentially Stick, because the enemy is going to try and want to take out your cards as quickly as possible. Every time they play an action card, Stick is going to increase his HP and attack stat by 133 at level 4 and then 146 at level 5. So I could upgrade him, but if you didn't see that, the upgrade cost is 10,000, so a bit much. If you don't want to play Stick, play Scorpion, because again, he can take out any card on the field as long as he deals damage to them, so that can be quite dangerous for the enemy. So that is quite an interesting team to run. Another team I would run would be a Black Widow team. So what Black Widow does, where is she? Right here. So what she does, she will increase the leader HP by 300, and when you play a 0-cost card, she's going to add 50 to 100 HP to that character through Shield training program.
When we get a chance,
so this is a bit different. First things first, what you want to do is sort all your characters by HP, so you find the higher HP stat cards. Karen Page has quite high HP, so she is definitely going to be one of the 0-cost cards I use. I use Nova Denarian, and I will use Colony of Ants. Another card I would use, let's change this to 1. So I would use Nova Centurion. He has very high HP for a 1-cost card. He is farmable, so you can get him from Special Ops Chapter 6 Stage 1 or Special Ops Chapter 6 Stage 9, both normal. So right now he has 726 HP, so that is kind of crazy. So I would put him right here. Another card you could potentially use is Luke Cage for 1 cost. If he receives damage and is not knocked out, he's going to add an extra 132 HP to himself. So that is pretty good. Another very good 1-cost card to use would be Mindless One, because he has 653 HP. And another 1-cost card, very good, is Nebula. What she will do is double the attack damage if you put her in a diagonal battle line. Another card you can use instead of her would be the 2-cost Hellstorm, who basically does the same thing. So Hellstorm, when you put him in a horizontal battle line, he would actually attack twice, so he's doing over 1000 damage. So personally, I'll probably use Hellstorm, but again, you can use Nebula, it doesn't really matter, or you can use both of them if you want. If you want to replace maybe this guy for Nebula, that is also possible. So put her here. So I would also play one more card. I would play, who would I play? Maybe a card that can be used to take out enemies. So what does he do? War Machine 200 to 260. And actually I'm gonna play, let's play Captain America, because he's level 5 and has 730 damage. That's quite a lot of damage and HP. So then you need to focus on action cards. So action cards that we want to focus on are using cards that will boost the HP stat of our cards. So this one here, First Aid for 2 Cosmic Fragment, will increase all allies HP stat to by 484. So that's crazy. Definitely that will go there in your deck. We'd also maybe use Regenerative Spores. It increases all allies in a target field by 308 to their HP. Definitely that is going there. 0-cost card. Again, you may want to put down an action card. So you one that deals damage, sorry. So you may want to use something like Chain Lightning, because that attacks multiple cards at a time. The main card of the deck is Mental Subjugation, as what that does is swap the attack and HP stat of all your characters in the 2x2 square field. And then you have the option of playing one more card. I would probably use another attack card. So either I would use Techno-Organic Virus, or I would take out Chain Lightning and put in Yakka Arrow instead. Or if you want to be crazy like me, I think it's this one here.
When we get a chance, we have
so
to
I
take
put
it.
in another card that increases HP. Got Yakka Arrow, Techno-Organic Virus, and the other card was the Asgardian Healing Chalice. So what that does is add 363 HP to a target, but reduces their attack stat to 200. That isn't really a downside, because what we're actually doing is swapping attack and HP stats. So you may have seen some of my other videos where I used this deck and it was doing pretty well, especially before the nerf of Mental Subjugation, because originally that was 0-cost card and it was a cards in a 3x3 square, not in a 2x2 square area. So unfortunately not as good, but it is something.
Let's make something happen here.
So yeah, Captain America is good because not only does he have high stats, he will deal damage of 307 to all enemies that surround him when you put him down on the field. So that is a very good team to use. So let's do maybe one more team. So those are teams I'd use sometimes. And who else have we got? Let's use, okay, Wasp.
I might have a surprise in store.
So what Wasp does, she will increase the leader HP by 100, and action cards that are removed from the game have the ability to maybe return to your deck at a 15% chance. When the game first came out, this was actually a 25% chance, and this was the leader everyone was using, me included. So for this kind of deck, what I would do, let's first focus on 0-cost cards. Let's do it by attack. So what you want to do is put down Karen Page. This deck kind of revolves around Stick, because he will increase his stats every time an action card is played, so whether that is yourself or the enemy, so that is very good. You could also maybe play Tony Stark. He's quite an interesting 0-cost card, because if he absorbs 2 cosmic fragments, he will transform into Iron Man model 25, and he has quite good stats. I wouldn't say very good, but it's pretty good. You could also use against Scorpion, because Scorpion is one of those staple characters in pretty much most decks, as he has very good utility and usability. So let's put Scorpion down in there. Okay, but again, it revolves around using a stick to increase his attack stat. So action cards. So you would want to use maybe a card that can clear many enemies at once, so an AoE card. So you have Chain Lightning. I like Chain Lightning a lot. You also have Pumpkin Bomb Delivery. In a 2x2 squared area will deal 880 damage, which is quite a lot. We have Hellcarrier Strike, 770 damage in a horizontal line. And Storm Summoning is very good as well, as it will remove all cards on the field except one character's 600 HP or more. So I would potentially use Chain Lightning. I would then put Yakka Arrow down. I would also maybe use Sharpshooter Arrow that does 605 to 847 damage. You do have the option of using Target Locked, but Sharpshooter is only a 1-cost card, whereas Target Locked is 2-cost card. Or you could use Guide to the Afterlife. So again, 2-cost card, but I would maybe lean towards Target Locked in this instance, because we have more damage with this card than we do have with Guide to the Afterlife. Some other notable mentions could be Kicked Out. So he will take out any card that is 600 attack or below and knock them out. Another one is Storm and Eradicate. So this Quake card is quite interesting. You put it on a slot that has a cosmic fragment, and it will do 200 times the value of damage. So that is quite interesting. So if it's 1 cosmic fragment, it'll do 200 damage, 2, 400 damage, etc, etc. Okay, I used to play this card a lot, because what this did was remove a particular card from the enemy's hand after they've played it, and remove them from battle, so they won't be able to use it again. The only downside is it does take off some of your HP, but it's not that hard, or not that bad, I guess. Not that much of a downside to have some of your HP go down a little bit with that. With cards themselves, I would focus on, actually want to do cards. So again, oops, let's do this. We would want to focus on so I'll put down Thor. I do like using my damage over turn cards. I would put down, where's Malekith, if I can see him. Here we are, Malekith. And I would like to use Captain America and Rocket Raccoon, because they both do damage to cards over the field. So not just one card, they do multiple cards they can attack. And another card I would probably play would be, let's see, maybe a grower. So I'll maybe put down Drax or potentially She-Hulk instead. So this may be the deck I would run. So as I said, it mainly focuses around Stick, increasing his stats by you using your action cards multiple times, hopefully, and your enemy using their action cards to take out Thor or Malekith, and then that's obviously buffing Stick. So what you would do, you'd play Karen Page first potentially, then at 2 cost, or maybe play Stick first, and if they don't take him out, play someone like Malekith. They will then try and potentially take out Malekith. That will be in turn buffing your Stick. Then you could maybe play Captain America if you have 2 cosmic fragments. If you don't, play Karen Page, and so on and so forth. So slowly, bit by bit, increasing Stick's damage capability. If you don't have Drax, you could maybe use a card that deals damage when you summon them, such as Dagger, or let's see, who else could we use? Can't see anyone good here. Oh, actually, another card could be Quake, because she will remove the special ability of a enemy when you put her in a diagonally placed against them. You could use Yondu. He does 253 damage for 1 cost, and the other one would be Daredevil, who does 231 damage for 1 cost as well. Depending if it's PvP or PvE, you may want to play Squirrel Girl, because when she moves to form a battle line, you've won the game. That works very well in PvE, not so well in PvP, because people know what she can do. So she's not that great there, unfortunately. What else? Okay, so yeah, so those will be the cards I would run. Yeah, so let's move on to another deck. Let's use Thor.
For Asgard and glory!
Okay, so for Asgard and glory. So what we want to do, probably get rid of Stick. Oops. And I would put in, I like my Black Cat, because she allows me to get cosmic fragments. Where is she? Here she is. So I like her over Stick, and Scorpion is there to take out enemies. So what Thor does, he gives you 400 extra HP, which is kind of crazy, and he will deal 70 to 120 damage to an enemy after you move one of your cards. So that is quite interesting. So I would make a deck focused on movement. So what I would do, first card I would like to play would be Agamotto. Let's put, so what Agamotto does, when you move him, he will split into 2 characters, and he will half the HP of each character, but they will have the same attack stat. So that is pretty good. So let's put him here. I would also use, let's see, another movement card. We've got quite a few movement cards that are low cost. So where is it? So an option, you could use a Red Skull. So after you move him, he will put a character on the field that is one of his minions with a HP and attack stat of 200. So he could work at 2 cost. Another option would be, where is it? Ultron Bot. But if I can find it, I think he is a uncommon card, if I remember correctly. Where is he? Cannot see it. Yeah, here it is, Ultron Bot. So after moving, he will create an Ultron Bot with HP and attack stat of 150. So that can be a bit troublesome for the enemy opponent you're facing, because obviously you've increased the number of cards on the board from 1 to 2 just by moving the character. And Thor would also do damage to an enemy on the field. So that could actually work quite well. He's also a 1-cost card, so that could be pretty interesting to use. Another option would be Ultron himself, who I don't have. as if I remember correctly, if he receives damage but is not knocked out, he will create a Ultron bot clone. So that is pretty good with quite interesting stats as well. Another movement card you could potentially use would be Captain Marvel, because after moving she doubles her attack stat by 2, so she'll be doing over 1600 damage, which is kind of crazy. You could also potentially use, let's see, so I would probably put in, I would probably put in maybe Captain America, because he will be doing a nice amount of damage to multiple enemies at the same time. If you don't want to play, actually no, let's keep Red Skull and take our Ultron bot and put in Squirrel Girl. So again, this will be a very good team for PvE, not so much PvP. And action cards, I like to play maybe 3 or 4 action cards. So if you want, you can play the Thunder God Descent, so you can get another Thor on the field, or Thor on the field, because you're not actually using Thor in this deck. But usual cards, Yaka Arrow, maybe Target Lock for me, and Techno-Organic Virus. You have the option of playing one more character card or one more action card. It's really your choice. If you want to focus on getting Cosmic Fragments, I would play Box of Scraps, or if you want, you can play Target Tactical Retrieval for 1 Cosmic Fragment cost. Personally, I would choose Box of Scraps over that. So this is a quick little deck I made, as you saw, based on movement. So the main card, or 3 of the cards here, or 4 of the cards here, all kind of have a special ability that focuses around movement, apart from Captain America, as he is there really just to deal damage. If you don't want to play Squirrel Girl, you could replace her with Rocket, because he again is a card that will be doing a bit of damage to multiple enemies at the same time. So where is he? So he could go in right there. So that, there you have it. Simple deck to make based on movement. So another deck I want to do for you guys, let's see, we would want to use, okay, let's use Iron Man again. Let's just use this one. So this will probably be the last one I do.
Put it in the win column.
Okay, so this deck is actually going to be revolving around card swapping. So let's just change this to all, oops, and reset that. So first things first, what you'd want to do is either put down Thanos if you have him. If not, put down Thor. If you haven't got Thor, then maybe Malekith. So in this instance, I'm going to use Thor. I'm going to put down Nox, because Nox is a very good card. But I also want to do damage over turn, so I'm going to put down Malekith. I'm going to put down Nox right here. I'm going to put down Enchantress, because what Enchantress does, she will make the enemy swap out 1 card from her deck or their deck every turn. Then you want to play maybe Black Widow, because on every turn she'll make the opponent switch out all action cards, which is very good. And we could also either play Valkyrie, or if you have Captain America now, that is also another good option, because when the enemy will play an action card, they will actually receive all the damage of that action card instead of the intended character. So that can come in a pinch to help you out. I would maybe play, actually let's take her out, because I like to organize things by damage, sorry, Cosmic Fragment, not damage. Where is he? So I would put down Captain America, cannot see him here. Then I would put down Nox right here. So we have 1 grower, 1 character that can do damage to multiple enemies, and Thanos and Malekith that are going to do damage over turn. As I said, if you don't have Thanos, you can put Thor there in his place. And we could also play, if you haven't got Enchantress, you could play, where is he, Spot instead. The only problem with Spot is that he is 2 cost for a common card, but he has very low HP, so at 308, whereas the Enchantress at level 2 has 671 HP, so it's a lot better, but again, work with what you've got. So in terms of action cards, if you want a card that can increase cosmic fragments, you can either play an Ancient One or Misty Knight, or if you want a card that is like Black Cat, you can use Dorman. For 1 cost, what he would do is gain 1 cosmic fragment every time you move around the board. Or you have to be close to a cosmic fragment to collect it, not he just makes cosmic fragments like Misty Knight, unfortunately. So then for action cards, I would personally play the normal ones, so Yaka Arrow, Target Locked, and maybe Techno-Organic Virus. If you want to take out a character card, you can. I would personally take out Enchantress and maybe play another action card, or I would put in, let's see, I would put in maybe take out, yeah, I would take out actually let's keep Enchantress for now. Take out Black Widow and put in another option you could use would be, where is he? Abomination. So what Abomination does is increases attack by 50 every turn. Once his attack stat gets to 1000, you could actually deal damage directly to the enemy, so that's quite interesting. You could also put down Hellstorm, who does double the amount of damage when you form a battle line, so that could work very well. And maybe another grower, so like Drax or She-Hulk. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It went on a bit longer than what I would have liked, but I hope you found it useful. If you got any suggestions as to what kind of videos you want to see in the future, or what kind of decks you would potentially use, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to join me on Discord, the link is in the description. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next Marvel Battle Lines video. Take care. Bye.